What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki back at with another of the Chris Watts, but Nichol Kessinger more focused on too, because obviously the thing that we want to find out now or resolve is Nichol Kessinger's justice, where she is in handcuffs. She joins Christopher in prison, not the same prison, but that's why we keep doing these videos, because we already know that Chris Watts is a complete D-bag. He's in prison. He's there for life, but we don't have 100% conviction of this case because Nichol Kessinger was involved. We literally heard from the DA's mouth that, yeah, you're not going to get everybody, you're not going to get all the bad guys. That's not something you want to hear from a DA when his job is to lock up and protect the area that he's in. So he literally has mentioned that they dropped the ball on it. They pretty much were like, maybe we should have investigated into Nichol, but we got our man, so we're just done and over with. Leave me alone. We're not going to look into her. So that leaves me to believe that, again, like I've said in the past, with 100% certainty, that Nichol was involved in some shape or form. Do we know for 100% certainty that it's 100% of physical involvement? No. But she destroyed a family. As a mistress, you involved yourself with the significant other's spouse. Did I say that right? She hunted Chris. She hunted Shanann. She wanted everything that Shanann had. She knew that everything about Shanann and Chris, they were having separational issues, not divorce. Never did it say on their Facebook or whatever have you. She knew about the girls. She knew about baby Nico. She knew about all this stuff, but yet portrayed herself as the victim or the innocent one, coming to the police, stating, oh, I can try to help you, or I'm coming forward to better my name. None of her interviews, the first interview, which was unofficial because it was at a park with audio only. The second interview was completely garbage as well because her father was involved in that one. The third one was another joke because it was just herself acting completely distraught and upset that, oh, this is what this is going to look like towards me. My phone, why do you guys need my phone? It just was a complete, utterly joke about Nichol Kessinger's interviews and so forth like that. And then we find out that she only had one press interview, which we're going to be taking a look at. She pretty much, when she found out that Chris had either been somewhat involved with his wife's disappearance, because at the time we didn't know where the girls were, Nichol pretty much dropped the ball on Chris, stating, oh, I was not involved. I don't know why he did this or why he might have done this. And oh my gosh, the girl, no mistress has said that. And then with her saying that she was completely innocent and not guilty, she completely goes off the grid, completely goes into the dark, completely, we have no idea where she's at. But the DA says, I'm not going to tell you where she's at. So he knows. So with that being said, we're going to take a look at the press interview that she only had once. She dropped Chris like a potato. And we're going to watch that video right now. So grab a chair, grab some popcorn for Nichol Kessinger to one day hopefully get locked up. I have a feeling it's going to take time, but I have a feeling that we'll one day see this happening. I can't say for 100% because, again, I'm not a professional. I'm not educated in the criminal justice system. I just want to put my 2 cents in and find out the bad people and bring them to justice. That's why we're here. So with that being said, if we go any further, again, thank you guys so very much for the love and support that thousands of you guys have been doing. We just hit 39. We're trying to get to 40. We're trying to get to 50 so I can give one of you lucky people at home a Meta Quest 3 virtual reality headset for free. And all you gotta do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the white bar icon next to it so I do post videos like this one. You guys will get that little ring notification that I've posted a video, and then you guys can come, watch, like, subscribe, all the above. And again, I thank you all that have done so thus far. We're trying to get, again, to road 100K for the year of 2024. So when we get to 100K as well, I'll be giving away 2 more of those MetaQuest virtual reality headsets for free. Now, again, I'm not claiming this video as my own. This is from Michelle After Dark. We're just putting our 2 cents in on it. So again, for the haters that think I'm taking away content, I am not. I'm giving the credit where it is due. This is who we're watching. We've watched her before. Definitely go show your support on her channel. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. You know the gist. And with that being said, let's get a video.
Hope you're well. It's Michelle here. Welcome to another video. The
Welcome.
true crime channels that are deep into the Chris Watts case, in the last few days have been discussing a possible sighting of Nichol Kessinger. I'm not going to take...
Which I can't say for certainty, but it is in Colorado. I'm not going to say the city just for legal purposes, but it's like 20 to 30 minutes away from where Chris's actual house is still. She left the other place. She did get fired by Anadarko, apparently. But then Anadarko went under like bankruptcy or something like that. I can't remember what I read, but they are not in existence anymore. But she's apparently still in Colorado. That's ballsy.
Those pictures from Just Larry's channel, even though other people have been using them, and I think he's happy for other people to use them, because I genuinely can't decide whether it's her or not. And whether it is or not isn't really the focus of today's video. Yeah. If you do want to see those pictures, I'll leave a link to Just Larry's video down in the description box.
Look at Just Larry.
But I do want to discuss Nichol Kessinger. She's the mystery woman. She's the woman that a lot of true crimers discuss. There's potential theories around her being part of the murder plan, whether it's a plan to blow up the oil field, whether it's
for insurance purposes,
the fact that she basically controlled the narrative. And she did. She absolutely did control the narrative. She controlled the text message conversations. She controlled the room when she was interviewed. She took her dad in with her. He did his part in controlling the narrative.
She's telling him how she's going to do this
as well. So it's speculated whether he is a Freemason. It's speculated whether Nichol Kessinger was having an affair with someone higher up in Anadarko, not just a
Some of the theories too is that she was sleeping with policemen. She was possibly again with higher ups in Anadarko. Like we're talking CEOs, VPs. We're talking. It wasn't just Chris that she was involved with.
Get your hands dirty, oil worker like Chris, but someone maybe in the exec team who was able to, hush things up for Nichol. It's my opinion that there is some kind of cover-up. Why the crime scene was closed down so quickly after
fast,
Chris's initial confession. Why it was put out very early that Chris had confessed to all the murders. Actually, he was just saying he confessed to Shanann's murder, but he was adamant that he didn't murder Bella and Cece. It was only in February the following year, February 2019, that he confessed to agents Lee Corder and Detective Baumhofer when they went to see him in Wisconsin, in Dodge Correctional, that he confessed to all the murders. She was known, D.A. Rourke, after the sentencing of Chris Watts, said that she hampered the investigation by deleting evidence. It's alleged that the officers at the time the investigation was closed down, that Nichol Kessinger was being investigated. Indeed, it's speculated now whether there is still an ongoing investigation. It's speculated that there's going to be more arrests. Now, whether you believe that, whichever theory is your preferred theory, there's probably truth to some of this. It's highly...
Somebody definitely mentioned in my Instagram too, they were kind of like, well, reverse listen to her because there's truth in her lies. Like, if you know what I mean. I'm going to be doing this, but I'm trying to do it the right way. But when she tells a lie, there's truth about that lie, but the lie is the truth. Does that make sense? Or the lie is what is actually being done. So when she says, I did not. I don't know where his wife is. I don't know where this is. She does know, or like how she had mentioned that she wasn't here or there, but she was actually there. I'll be making that video very, very soon, but I want to make sure I do it very good for you guys to watch.
Unusual, and the questions that have been left that basically breed these conspiracy theories, the more kind of elaborate conspiracy theories, really, for me, draw on Nichol Kessinger and why information about Nichol Kessinger was left out of the discovery files.
A lot.
The redacted discovery files, for example, don't include Nichol Kessinger's phone records for that crucial time around the 13th of August.
So
Her
many.
records for the 13th of August are available, and that notorious ping in.
And again, you cannot tell me that she was going to work the morning of the murders, because then her phone would have pinged. Her phone only pinged in Frederick, Colorado, this time within a month. Even when she went to go see him at the house, her phone never pinged then. She accidentally pinged that morning and tried to say that she was going to work. Again, there's 5 different ways for her to get to work. But again, in all the times that she went to Chris's house, which was more than once, her phone never pinged in Frederick, Colorado. That's what's messed up.
Frederick at 6:16 a.m. when she never pinged in Frederick other than when she was at the Chris Watts house. But
exactly.
We can speculate on why she was there, why she made that 1-minute phone call to leave Jim alone, her friend. We probably will never know unless Nichol is brought to trial or Chris Watts
and we get
gets
a new
his
DA
35C granted and the judge does grant him a trial, but that would be utterly extraordinary if that occurred. I doubt it will. If Nichole's role, if she had a role in the murders, was covered up back in August 2018, then
they said there was 2 different footprints out by the dig site. Even other people have mentioned there's you can see the differences in somebody digging on one side and somebody dig on the other. There's no way that Chris dug that hole by himself in that amount of time that morning between 5 a.m. and 9, what was it, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. There's no way that the hole was like, what was it? They said 3 to 4 feet deep. I'm sorry, but I mean, there's people that could probably do it, but Chris could have not done that himself. Just saying.
It would be equally extraordinary if she was brought to justice now. There'd have to be something highly unusual that occurred.
There's so much
for that to happen. My personal view is that she did have a role in the murders. I'm not sure, though, that she actually completed the murders. I think Chris did that himself. Now,
Not
whether she was there in the morning to clean up, whether she was there to try to get into Shanann's phone, I don't know. I honestly don't know. She didn't do a very good job of cleaning up. You know, the sheets in the trash, the sheets on the bedroom floor.
And nothing was fingerprinted. Nothing was looked at. Nothing, like, why didn't they do all that stuff?
If she was there to clean up, she did an awful job of it. Why would she need to go there to get into Shanann's phone? I guess to stage text messages. Because if Chris had taken the phone with him, then the phone pings would have been
the phone was upstairs
319 or whatever worksite Chris was at later in the day. So that would have been obvious. I could just as easily argue that Chris did all of it himself. Chris was completely gullible and took things literally. So if she told him that he had to get rid of his family, I speculate that perhaps
he
said this
started
in the previous video, the idea
she finished it.
Of Chris getting rid of his family and the idea forming for Chris to, instead of just getting divorced and, you know, be financially wrecked by it, on July the 14th, when she freaked out, in Chris's own words, and she left the house and she went to sit in her truck to text him because she wanted to be the one to give him a son, when Chris supposedly admitted that Shanann and he had been trying for a baby. Did he tell her, actually, that Shanann was pregnant on that day? rather than just trying for a baby. And Nichol freaked out. And Chris
She
then,
wanted to give
the
him the
idea
baby.
started to form in his head that he needed to get rid of the baby, to get rid of baby Nichol. And then the plan developed from there in Chris's head. So perhaps Nichol, her only role in it was telling him he needed to get rid of his family, meaning divorce his family. Whether that was her only role.
I think she did the same thing as Gypsy Rose did and pretty much persuaded him into committing these murders so that they could run off together, be in love, be together, and start a new life together. And he was gullible, did it, but then he started the murders, but she finished them.
Or whether she had a more active part in it, as many people suspect. That 111-minute phone call on the evening of the 12th of August, as Shanann's plane was delayed from Arizona, as Shanann waited for her flight, as Shanann tried to ring Chris and he pretended that he'd passed out on the couch when actually he was
Down in the basement.
on the phone to his mistress.
In the basement.
When Nichol was interviewed by Kevin Kovac, she couldn't remember what they talked about for that 111 minutes.
I can tell you right now, there's a lot of conversations I've had with my exes and my girlfriends over the years. I can recall a lot of them. I can remember the ones back in high school. So for her to say that she don't remember, okay.
Were they discussing the murders then? Did she have an active role in it? And did she just drop him like a hot potato when it all started to unravel? Maybe
Yes,
she
she did.
changed her mind. I don't know. All these are speculations. But what is absolutely for sure is that Nichol has disappeared. She could be a millionaire now, writing her story. That. Why doesn't she do that? Why has she maintained her silence all of this time? Well, maybe it's because she has been paid off. Maybe it's because she's protected. Or maybe it's simply because she doesn't want any limelight. She just wants to heal, get on with her life, etc., etc. There's only one time that she spoke out, and this was in the Denver Post. And I'm going to show you the article. This is the one and only.
So I did find this out because somebody messaged me on Instagram saying the reason why those pictures were taken, no, and then they wrote me on Twitter as well. But the reason why these pictures were taken, because it was back actually through a newspaper article about the whole thing. That's the only time she's actually come out and talked about this whole thing.
Interview that Nichol Kessinger did with the press, and it was,
and apparently the necklaces that's around her neck is from Chris.
In November 2018. It's horrific. Christopher Watt's girlfriend speaks out for the first time as sentencing in Frederick murders draws near. And that's that infamous picture. He lied about everything, said Nichol Kessinger on November the 15th, 2018. When Nichol Kessinger started dating Christopher Watts in July, it's argued that she started dating him before that. Indeed, we know from the discovery, and it's still in the discovery.
It is.
It's not been redacted.
She
Googled both Shanann and Chris Watts back in 2017. Why?
That's not
don't know.
weird.
Maybe she set her sights on him. Maybe she met him early on and set her sights on him. Maybe she found out what he liked. Maybe she found out that he was into cars and sports, and she moulded her chasing of him. You know, this carefree, spontaneous girl next door image that she had that surely did appeal to Chris Watts. You know, Shanann was very regimented, very controlled. You know, she had Chris under the thumb. Maybe Nichol was
she played him like a fiddle, though,
to Chris. So he appeared to be a soft-spoken man who was at the end of divorce proceedings. But that's kind of not true, is it? He told her on July the 14th that they'd recently been trying for a baby. So is she telling the truth or is Chris?
They
Well,
both
both
aren't.
of them are known liars. So who knows? Your guess is as good as
They're
mine.
both liars.
It wasn't until the Frederick man's wife and 2 daughters went missing in August that Kessinger learnt that Watts had never started divorce proceedings with his wife, who was 15 weeks pregnant, and that he'd been lying to her for the entire relationship, which lasted less than 2 months.
But she looked at everything on Facebook, so she knew exactly what was going on. She was looking at her lives. She was putting angry faces in there. That's bull malarkey that she would say, "Oh yeah, I never knew about this at all. Chris never said anything." Come on, man.
So presumably she'd worked with a PR team on this. Is this the one chance, the one ditch attempt that she had to get the public's favour? I
And
don't
she
know.
didn't.
Kessinger was shocked by Watt's arrest, but she never doubted that he killed his wife, Shanann, and their 2 daughters, Bella 4 and Celeste 3. I don't think there's a logical explanation for what he did, she said. It's a senseless act. It's horrific. They're so little, she claimed in one of the interviews with Kevin Kovac. They're so little. Kessinger approached investigators before Watt's arrest and participated in multiple police interviews. It doesn't say that she lied through her teeth and she was controlling the narrative from day one. It doesn't say that, does it? Describing details of their relationship in what he had told her about the missing family. Now that Watts had pleaded guilty to the murders, so she thought she was home and dry. She was home and dry, of course she was. Kessinger said that in an exclusive interview with the Denver Post that she wanted to share her side of the story. Many people have speculated about their relationship after the arrest affidavit revealed that Watts had been having an affair with an unnamed woman. Watts, 33, is scheduled to appear in court Monday for sentencing hearing after pleading guilty last week to murdering his wife and 2 children in August. I mean, all that was so strange. And concealing their bodies on a rural Weld County oil site. If the judge accepts the plea deal, Watts will be sentenced to life in prison for the crimes that drew national attention to the small town north of Denver. Kessinger, a 30-year-old Colorado native, said the brief affair had turned her life upside down as people named her on social media and discussed their relationship in online forums. And NK, how do you feel now? It's still going on. Apparently she's changed her name. But we just met, Kessinger said. I barely knew him. Well,
Why?
That's strange because you spend 2 hours Googling wedding dresses and making search terms like, will a man leave his wife? Some such that she did. But 2 hours Googling wedding dresses? Seriously? With
After somebody
someone
just
that
met?
she barely knew? I think she's playing down.
I mean, I've heard of shotgun
brief
weddings, but
I think she's playing it down as she played it down in the interviews with Kevin Kovac. She played it down, but she's playing it down even more here. Kessinger was working in the environmental department with an Anadarko petroleum contractor when the two met, she said during a Thursday morning interview in the office of her lawyer, Ed Hopkins. So she was in her lawyer's office when this interview was taking place. So
if she had a lawyer, why was he not present in these interviews? Wouldn't he need to be there? I know when I went through a whole divorce with my ex, I had to have my divorce attorney there, my lawyer. So that makes no sense.
The narrative, she's got a lawyer to control the narrative. Every morning, Watts and the other operators would gather in the office break room while they waited to be dispatched to a field site. Kessinger would walk through the group to place her lunch in the fridge, but she never spoke to Watts. So innocent. One day, in the middle of June, he walked into our office to introduce himself, so he did all the running. They continued casual conversations. She noticed that Watts did not wear a wedding ring, and Kessinger, who was single, thought he was attractive.
Lost weight.
When he spoke to me, he was very soft-spoken. He appeared to be a good listener, she said. Watts told her he had 2 daughters, and after Kessinger asked, Watts said he was separated and at the end of divorce proceedings. I believed him, she said. When they first met outside of work in late June, Kessinger asked Watts more questions about his divorce. He told her the mutual divorce was almost final. Well, he could have done. He absolutely could have done, but she found out the truth.
You can go on Facebook to see
that. She did know. She did know. They were working out financial details, she said. The two began a physical relationship in early July and saw each other 4 to 5 times a week, Kessinger said. So it's hardly, a brief relationship. Even if it was brief in time span, it was pretty full on. Seeing someone that you barely know 4 to 5 times a week is pretty full on.
Mm-hmm.
She told him she wanted to take it slow and he should focus on helping his daughters adjust to the
No.
divorce. Well, when he went to North Carolina, and she said that he needed to spend time focusing on his family. On the 14th of July, when she said, "Why do you want to give up all of this? And can you make it up with your family?" She didn't really mean it, did she? She was calling Chris's bluff, and he was maybe too naive to realise. Because when he didn't respond in North Carolina and said he would only be able to respond in text message, "Are you with them? Are they there?" So the focusing on the family thing was just a ruse, just a ploy to get Chris to say, "No, you're the most important thing, you're number one," when she realised she wasn't number one. When Watts went to visit family in North Carolina at the end of July, he called to tell her that his divorce was final. I don't know about that. Later that month, he asked Kessinger to help him find an apartment that would be good for him and his daughters. They never spoke about long-term plans for their relationship. So she Googled wedding dresses just on the off chance then. Or was she planning to marry someone else? Was she really having an affair with someone else that was maybe more promising?
She Googled marrying your mistress.
Maybe she was
So
just a game
Chris.
player. I used to know a game player. I used to know someone like Nichol Kessinger. She wouldn't want the man that she was chasing. She would just play the game. She would get a kick out of being the one that the men wanted.
Sick.
And then she'd drop them from a great height. I get the same feeling with this person. He made me believe he was doing all of the things a rational man and a good father would do, she said. Kessinger never met any of the Watts family or friends. On August the 13th, the Monday that Shanann and the girls disappeared, Watts texted Kessinger to say that he had been busy. The two chatted like normal throughout the workday. Her phone records would say otherwise. Because normally they exchanged a call every morning, but not
she was
on
there.
the morning of the 13th. It was only later in the day when they started to exchange messages. About 3:45 p.m, Watts texted that his family was gone. He told Kessinger that Shanann had taken the girls to a play date and had not returned. It seemed casual and he didn't show any emotion, she said. Kessinger was worried about his missing family. She told him to pawn the wedding ring. But she didn't want to make a big deal out of the situation that Watts seemed calm about. Then news reporters showed up at the Watts family home. I was very confused why the media was at his house, she said. Later that night, Kessinger learnt the full situation. Shanann's wallet and purse were still in the house. Watts left work early to let the police into his home. Police had been trying unsuccessfully to contact Shanann all day. When I read the news, I found out he was still married and his wife was 15 weeks pregnant. Well, given that she was looking them up on the internet, I think even if Chris hadn't told her back in July, she would have known. Yes. She was shocked at the lies and scared for the missing woman and children, she said. If he was able to lie to me and hide something that big, what else was he lying about, she said. In a flurry of long calls and texts that night. What about the 111-minute phone call the night before? Did you mention that? Or did your lawyer maybe advise you not to?
Exactly.
Watts changed his story.
That lawyer
about
told her
his split with his wife. Kessinger barraged Watts with questions. Were there signs someone had forced themselves into the home? Were their daughter's car seat still there? Was one of the girls' EpiPens still in the house? Well, did she know all of this? Did she know that the CC had an EpiPen? She barely knew him, so why would she have known all of these details?
Mm-hmm.
Why would she have known to ask about car seats? Why would she ask all of these questions?
She knew way more than she was supposed to.
She barely knew. I don't think so. Watts didn't show any emotion during the conversation and tried to change the subject away from his missing family, she said. It seemed off. While at work on August the 14th, she texted Watts, pushing him to tell her what he knew about their disappearance and asked him what he'd done. He told her he would never hurt his family. It got to a point he was telling me so many lies. Well, you'd know all about that. when I eventually told him that I did not want to speak to him again until his family was found. What day did you delete all of the text messages?
The morning before she
And
went to
did you
talk to
tell
him.
Chris to delete his text messages?
Yep.
I wonder.
And
Kessinger
Charlotte.
checked the news in hopes Shanann and the girls would be found. The next morning, she called the Well County Sheriff's Office to tell them about her relationship with Watts, yet to get her story in first. She met the FBI investigators that day. I just wanted to help, she said, although she couldn't remember things, and when she did, she gave them piecemeal. She had them running around. She couldn't get a new SIM card, and her old SIM card had a problem, and I'm so worried about my job. She was just so concerned about her. And look at all the holes in the discovery that focus, that centre around the role of Nichol Kessinger. Like her GPS, where is that? Where's her GPS? Let's have a look at that. With a pregnant woman and 2 children missing, I was going to do everything I could. Her suspicions proved true when the police arrested Watts later that night, August the 15th, for the killing of his wife and 2 daughters. Kessinger saw it on the news. I just felt so sad, she said, because they're so little. Since his arrest, she has never doubted that he killed them. The story that Watts told.
She told people before that she didn't want kids, but then she wanted kids with Chris.
Police that he killed Shanann after he saw her strangling one of the girls is a lie, Kessinger said.
Her cries
He's a liar, she said. He lied about everything. Well, he did. He has lied about everything. So she's right there, but so is she.
That's why these pictures were done, because of this news article. But this necklace is from Chris.
She's protected her own skin, and if she did have some involvement in it, as many suggest, then she dropped him like the proverbial hot potato. But tell me what you think. What's your theory? Let me know in the comments. I've been Michelle. I do hope you're well, and I will.
I say this every single time we find little bits. I know what this is redundantly. We say this over and over and over, but the more people know, because some people might watch this video, but they won't watch this video because they might not see it and so forth. So we have to make multiple videos. But in these videos and these different videos that we watch, I'm learning more every single day that I didn't even know about. When I had these little different collabs and live streams with like ATS and CDT or 50 States of Madness, they're finding stuff that I knew. I'm finding stuff that they told me. We're always finding stuff new. And eventually, fingers crossed, this woman will have a door shoved in her face and she'll be locked up. I have a feeling, hopefully we'll see this within the next couple years because of a possible new DA. But again, comment your guys' thoughts down below. If you guys are new here, please join us on this debate. Join us in the discussion. Please be positive and not a bully in the comments. I've seen some bullies bullying other people around. We're here to debate. We're here to discuss. We're here to exchange opinions and stuff like that. So keep it that way. Don't forget to hit the like button for the justice of Nichol, or not, I keep saying this, for the justice of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and baby Nico. Don't forget to subscribe for more content when it comes to all crime, all things nerdy, and more. And we'll see you guys in the next one. So keep it real, keep it safe, and as always, keep nerding on. And we'll see you guys next time.